that I cannot like put back over the air.
Yeah.
But appreciate it, Kevin. I'm glad you're up.
Yeah. I guess.
For us guys to get started. Chip's will be calling in a minute, guys. But thanks to McDonald's this morning for our breakfast today with Mr. Kuthan and the gang up there. Oh.
Yeah. Now we can hear you.
We want to thank McDonald's for our breakfast today. Chip's going to be calling in a second, and we want to thank Mr. Kuthan and the gang for our wonderful breakfast today. I had a sausage and egg and a hash brown. What'd you have today, Terry?
I had sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle with 2 hash browns. Fantastic.
And I had a bacon, egg, and cheese McMuffin with a apple pie, which I have not eaten yet. I'll eat on the first break.
Andre, you got your mic on, so you can tell us what you got for
I
today.
had me old big breakfast over here.
Glad to have Andre back with us at the station. So,
Oh, no. Kevin.
So the guy,
our main man.
Yeah, the guy
Got nothing.
who owns the radio station and signs the checks, we have nothing for you.
good job, JP.
He had my wrong phone number, so that's
Oh, blame it on a phone number.
Hey.
Yeah.
Ain't my
As
wrong-
long
ain't
as
my
you've
fault.
been here, then our boss man has not your number. That's a good way to get around the bush.
I didn't know he wanted something. He didn't text me. I didn't know I get it, so I didn't have it. He didn't have my right number. So
Calvin, if you would have
unfortunately-
had something, it was very
Yeah,
good.
we're sorry, Calvin.
Now, what do we have to do here? We have to blame Kevin since Kevin's not
It's-
here.
Yes,
Kevin's
that's right.
fault.
Yeah,
Kevin and
there we
Kevin's
go.
the reason.
I would like to say something else. You know, Kevin did inform us where he was. You know, think about McDonald's Golden Arches. He was at the Arch in St. Louis. I had a chance to go there, but I just feared for my life where it was. I didn't want to go there. I was like,
As I am a Kansas City man, you know that's not where I
yeah,
want
you're
to
not going to go. I was feared for my life. So Kevin, please be safe out there. But it is a good view from the top of that. I guess it's something you have to put on your bucket list.
Yeah.
You put on your bucket list the St. Louis Arch. So, all right. So we did a little bit of high school baseball. What else you got today, guys?
Well, I was going to go over West Lincoln. West Lincoln now record overall 8-5, 5-3 in the conference. They just got through defeating Newton Conover 10-0. They had played Alexander Central and lost to them 11-6, and had lost to Bandy's the game before that 12-5. But they got back on the winning streak against Newton Conover 10-0.
Yeah, I knew they had a pretty good team this year. They're still young, though, aren't they?
They're
Terry?
still
got a lot of young guys in that West Lincoln team. But in that conference, where do they stand?
In the conference, let's go to standings. And I think now it all depends on how quick our machines wants to work. But East Burke, Bandy's is out front 7-0, 12-2. East Burke's second, 5-3. West Lincoln 5-3. So tied for second place in the conference.
Yeah, Burns still undefeated on the year. I tell you what, that Clover team in that Easter tournament had a pretty good team. You know, they're a 5A school down in South Carolina, and they gave Burns a run for their money, and Burns had to win it in the 7th inning. So they were pushed in that tournament. But you know, I'm sort of glad they got in that tournament and saw some better teams. You know, no, you don't want to disrespect anybody, but the level of competition is not as high in their conference as they would like it to be. So as a result, sometimes you got to go out to some non-league play. You know that, like Robbie likes to say, iron sharpens iron. So you got to play up a little bit, and I think they did in that tournament. South Caldwell team, even though they lost a couple of games, they're a pretty good ball team too, well coached, and they got a rich tradition up there of baseball. So it was good to get over there and see some of the local teams, and the work these coaches put into it. Needs to be. I know y'all's coaches over there working hard too, Terry. John Michael's still your head coach over there, right?
Markley.
Mark, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a good job over there with West Lincoln. So high school baseball working towards the playoffs. It's hard to believe it's going to end the last week of April, and then we got our tournaments, and we got the playoffs. Terry doesn't know how to turn the volume off on his computer, so if you hear that background noise,
There we go.
that's
yeah.
Terry's not the IT man at his school. If you haven't
Well,
picked
I'm
that
sitting
up
here
yet.
and I'm like,
Yeah, we saw you sitting there, Terry. We all
You're
watched
right.
you sit there and do nothing. But as I was trying to say over whatever Terry had played on his computer, that the high school baseball season will come to an end that last week in April. So it comes up quick, and we'll have the playoffs in May. I think they're trying to push it up a little bit because some of those playoffs run into graduation. I'd have to see when the championship series are this
I know
year.
our softball, it runs all the way through 4/29, so it's before May.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
So it will run out. Like I said, it runs out, and some of them do a conference tournament, but I'm pretty sure that the playoffs will start the following week. So I don't know. While we brought that up, I'm not a real big fan of those conference tournaments. I don't know. I just think you've played your conference opponents enough. You played them all twice, right?
Well, it kind of distinguishes when you get down to the end of who might knock somebody else out, though, Tom. If somebody that's underseed, this gives them opportunity, just like the ACC tournament gives somebody like North Carolina State an opportunity to get somewhere they shouldn't be.
Opportunity to face Zach Eady today, which might not go well for Mr. Burns. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm not going to say y'all are favored. I'm not going to.
Who's y'all? I'm not.
You're Big Ten. That's what it is.
I think they're a 9-point favorite or 10
Something
point.
like that.
Yeah, I think they're a pretty big favorite.
I think our other employee with us, Mr. Chips, called in from down at the Masters. JP, you got Chip on for us?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
He snuck off. He snuck off.
I'm standing out here right beside the tee box at number 8 at Augusta National right now. As the tee times got pushed back due to some cold weather and the fear of frost. So this is the final round of the Augusta National Women's Amateur this morning, and so the first tee times got pushed back to 8. So they just got started. But yeah, it's beautiful down here. A little chilly, but it's warming up quick, and it's beautiful down here this morning.
Got something to ask you, Chip. What time is
Please, go fire away.
What time is your cell
Got some
phone?
of the Virginia Cavaliers college golf team looks like walking by me right now. So.
What time is your cell phone turn-in time?
The cell phone turn-in time here is when I park in the parking lot. So that's about between 6 and 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
So I've got that shut off, and it's in my car right now. Did you send me a message this morning?
No, I was just wondering. I didn't know. I mean, when you get there, I know you always told us you got to have them up and moved away and stuff like that. And I was like, I wonder if he's already turned that in.
No, they don't check it. You just before, so they take us into volunteer parking, and we just basically have to leave the phone in the car because we go through a security checkpoint to be shuttled over to the grounds, and they check everything you've got, any bags or anything you've got in your pockets. If you've got a phone on you, they will not let you through.
Okay, now if that happens and you have a phone, they just make you take it back and let you come on back. Is that how they do it?
If you have a phone on you, you are gone. You are gone. Your credentials are revoked, and you do not get to come back.
Oh, that might be
another
harsh little thing.
Another question: can the people that run Augusta National come to Cleveland County schools and run Cleveland County schools?
I wish they would. I think I told y'all last week. It's one of the favorite things I get to do every year. When I park my car, I send my wife a text, tell her I love her. I turn my cell phone off. I leave it here, and I walk away. I love it, and it's my favorite part of the day.
How many days you staying down there, Chip?
So I got down here last night. I'll be here for the women's amateur today. The drive, chip, and putt is Sunday, tomorrow for the little kids, and then we roll into the practice rounds Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The first round of the tournament starts Thursday, and then it runs through the following Sunday. And so I should be back up in North Carolina Sunday night.
Okay.
So you're down there for the par 3 that happens on Wednesday and all that too.
So I'll be down here, but they do not pull. They pull some of the gallery guards from the course to help with the par 3 contest, but the 4 caddies do not. So I'll stay on the course because there's still play during the par 3. Some of the players don't play in the par 3, but I'll be down here. I will be here during the par 3. Yes.
I hear you.
So yeah. It's a fun time. It's beautiful. It's warming up quick. Sunshine. Got a little bit of rain in the middle of the week, but other than that, it looks like it's going to be a lot prettier than it was last year. So we're looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. And I guarantee the azaleas are just picture perfect.
Yep. The term I use is it's the Garden of Eden with golf holes installed.
That's it. That is it.
So, like, what does it entail? Like, what do you have to do when you're down there? And, like, simple. What do they give you 3 squares a day and Put you up in a nice hotel. Like, what's the
So
deal?
so all the travel and lodging is on us. We have to find our way down here. We have to find where we stay. That's all. That's on us. We are fully volunteers. Now they do help us with they will supply meals for us while we're here. I'm a 4 caddy, so I'm specifically assigned to a tee box. I work number 8 the entire week. I will get a signal from our guys at number 7 when we got a group coming up. I'll wave the flag, let them know that we've got a group coming up to the green, then that'll let our folks down the fairway know to close the crosswalks on the hole. And then basically at that point, once the group comes up and they're hitting, I'm basically crouched in a corner so I don't block anybody's view. And when the ball's up in the air, as long as the ball's in play, I just hold my flag straight up. It's only if the shot's going to potentially endanger the patrons at that point, that's when I'll angle the flag left or right, and that just lets our crew know down the fairway to yell full or duck or get down.
Okay, so you're basically in charge of protection of spectators.
I try to help with that as best I can. I don't know if I'd say I'm in charge of it. I assist with it.
Okay. Well,
Kevin wants to know if you saw Tiger yet. He just texted me.
I have not. No, I have. We have not. We have not seen. We have not seen a sighting of Mr. Woods at this point yet. A little early in the week for that.
So he is playing this year, correct?
He is now. He's registered. He is eligible to play. I think it's. I don't know if you would say it's a game time decision. I think he has already practiced. We saw reports last week that he had flown down and practiced. So that tells me he is gearing up to play. He has not confirmed it yet, but he's registered, so he's eligible.
As long Terry and Andre, as long as Tiger's playing well, he'll be in the tournament, and if he's playing bad, he'll.
That sounds like Kevin's perspective.
And if he starts playing bad, he'll have an injury. Oh,
Yeah,
I think it's tweaked.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. So, I wanted to holler in real quick and give y'all a call. Let me get off here. I gotta go get my station here, but just thought I'd give y'all a holler. Hope y'all are doing well, and hopefully can touch base with you later in the week.
Well, be safe. Have
a
fun.
great year,
we'll
bud.
see you in a couple weeks, bud.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good show.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye.
So our own Chip Carter down there at Augusta for a couple of weeks. So that's got to be a neat experience. I went once in 1990 when I was a sophomore in high school, and it's just something you never forget.
I would like to see the course, like with your own eyes, not just on the TV, but like just see the course, see some of those iconic holes. And
it was one of the things that I really remember from my high school experiences, getting to go down there and getting to, like, I met Fuzzy Zeller, I met Paul Azinger. There was some of them. During the practice rounds, too, they're a little friendlier. You know what I mean? Don't mess when Thursday's there. Don't go up and ask them, what their favorite color is on that day. But the practice rounds are usually, they're a little bit more fan friendly, and it's a good experience.
I got a question, and this is me. And I play a little golf, not much golf. It's because I can drive it and I can putt it, but everything in between with my irons, forget it. I'm going to mess up. It's not going to go as far as what it should, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Kind of like your performance on the show.
Well, I guess.
Okay.
But anyway, as I'm sitting there and you have guys, why does it have to be so quiet? Now, I have played ball my whole life and stuff like that, but like when I step in the box, I hear nothing. I hear nothing outside. I might hear the umpire a little bit, but I'm zoned because when I'm batting, I'm worried about what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it and how I'm going to do it. But I get zoned into what I'm doing. How come golfers cannot do that? The least little tick or queak or flash or whatever messes them up.
It's a gentleman's game. You don't do that. You don't do that, Terry.
But why?
Because it's the tradition of the sport. You just don't do it. It's just like baseball, like dugout heckling is just accepted in the sport.
Well, I can understand that when you're talking about another player, et cetera, but I'm just talking about little minor things. I mean, they want everybody so quiet. It's almost like tennis. What's the deal with that? I mean, if you're playing the game and you're in the game, I guess I just look at things different because I know how I was when I stepped in. Everything else just goes away. And Calvin probably could tell you the same thing. When he stepped in a box, it was him and the pitcher, and you would hear the umpire, what he's calling. But as far as people hollering at you on the outside of the fences or any of that stuff went away. I never worried about none of that. Never heard none of that.
So he wants to go Happy Gilmore style at the tournaments. And have people run around streaking and screaming.
Well, I'm
and
not saying
fumbling
all of
your-
that, but they want you so quiet. It's unreal. And, and I guess if you go back and you say it's a gentleman's game, okay.
It's like the Catholic Church, man. You just sit there and shut up until they tell you to sing. I mean, it's just what it is. I mean, it is what it
It's a
is.
gentleman's game till somebody hits a bad shot and they catch it on the mic.
Right.
Yeah.
on the live TV.
I mean, it's just part of the tradition of the sports. I guess if it was different,
More
I
like
mean, it was-
etiquette type stuff,
etiquette,
right?
Yeah, etiquette. There's just certain things you don't do, and golf just has its own etiquette. All sports have their own etiquette. So
It's kind of like one of those where you go to a real nice dinner and you got to eat from, on your forks from the outside in. And I think that's how it is.
I never went to cotillion, so I don't know.
I don't either. I'm just saying it's probably, very similar. You get somebody come in like us and if you remember the old Shrek movie and Donkey's washing his hands.
Well, I mean, it's funny,
Soup.
it's funny because, like, if you watch the U.S. Congress on C-SPAN, it's boring. You'll go to sleep most of the times unless you got one of our nuts up there screaming. But you go to the British House of Commons, and they're all yelling, screaming, talking over each other, and all that. It's just the etiquette. It's just a different tradition, and that's all I could say about golf. I guess if they had started out by, selling 60-ounce beers and beer funnels, and people over there with no shirts on screaming like a football game, I guess.
Well, we
that'd be
had that
acceptable.
in this one tournament that we saw.
I know, but it's just, and it seems wrong. It just seems out of place. It's just not part of the game. So it's just a different game. It's not. You guys talk about softball. Softball is middle-aged men drinking a lot of beer and screaming and hollering and all that. I mean, it's just
Me and
what it
Calvin
is.
didn't do none of that.
Yeah, you did.
Me and Calvin went to play the game to win. I guarantee you, if Calvin would come in here, Calvin understands that every time he stepped on that field, Calvin never went out there thinking, I'm going to lose today. I mean, that's how good they were. Hetzville was pretty darn good in men's softball, and Rick Albertson and all of them. I'm never forget none of them guys playing. And when we had to play against them, you had to be prepared to play. But, I don't know. I just question all the little things that we do to make this game. And I guess that makes it that much different the reason people watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things you cannot do. Everybody's got to be quiet. Like he says, I have to hold up my thing when I need everybody quiet. And I guess, I don't know. I just don't understand it. I don't.
And that's shocking coming from a guy from West Lincoln.
Well, it is.
If you've ever been to a West Lincoln contest, people.
Well,
are
that's
not
what I'm
quiet.
saying.
People are not quiet.
Well, we
Tired
talk
of
to you.
cannon.
We want to talk to you.
Through the fence.
That's the reason I tell people when I was ever playing you in basketball, I'm going to talk to you. I hope you don't
would
get
say-
mad.
I would say I would gladly go and give West Lincoln some money if they would tear out their baseball press box and move it back about 30 feet, 40 feet, move that fence back and then come up to the fence.
Oh,
They're all-
yeah, they are right behind
They're
you.
right behind you there at West Lincoln. So, I mean, I guess that's just part
The only
of
thing you ever have to do at West Lincoln is sometimes sit through a sun delay
you do.
in the evening.
Hey, the sun delay it is. 'Cause they built
Sun coming
they built
down.
the park backwards.
Kevin said that we'll get our first commercial break here in a second with our sponsors. But he was saying that he saw Tiger had put out a video yesterday tying his shoes in the locker room and whistling to "Eye of the Tiger."
I'm glad he's playing so I can pull against him.
That's right.
I thought you'd like that.
I mean, that's the only reason
Tom.
why I want to watch him explode and then quit.
Yeah, but
I
if he
do.
wins,
He,
Tom,
he,
I don't
if he
think we have to worry
wins.
about that anymore.
If
I think he can have one really good day.
if he hadn't had the car wreck, he could probably still
Yeah.
win. But
Those heels will kill him.
and
later.
I would feel
Oh, yeah.
and I would feel very sorry for him if it wasn't like 100% his fault.
yeah.
So I mean, it's like it's hard for me to pull for you when you've done this to yourself and you act like it's this big overcoming. It's like, what did other people do to you? People worship that man. You know what I mean? I mean,
He
20
was the
years
biggest
ago,
draw they've ever had.
Worship
I know.
this guy. I mean, it was like when you turned on the golf tournament, you didn't watch the golf tournament. You watched Tiger Woods.
because
That's
you
what
had
you watched.
you had the nominal fans
Right.
all watching now.
And
Where
he-
they've lost all those because of the draw that he had. I mean,
He did.
I
have-
watched
he
it
did
all the time. I enjoyed it. Him and Phil and VJ and
he-
all those guys.
And he just kind
Ernie.
of screwed it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
He's on
the
top of
big
world.
deal down there, if he's in it
People
and he
watch.
makes
Oh, yeah.
the cut into Saturday,
It's gonna be-
everybody's watching.
Everybody's will
Yep.
watch. Yeah, I think he's got a decent chance of making the cut, but I don't think he's got a chance of winning anymore. Like I said, if he hadn't had the wreck, I think that, his exercise and diet and all that, he could be competitive into his
Can
50s.
he win in the senior?
Oh, yeah, he'll be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he can win. Do they play 3 days or 4 in the senior tour?
I want to think it was 3.
Yeah, I think they only play 3 in the senior tour, so it's a little bit easier. So I would say he would have a better chance. He's got to be getting close to 50 because he's close to my age, and I turned 50 this year. He's got to turn. I think he turns 50 next year. So that's the cutoff, isn't it? And 50 years old for the senior tours.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If he wants to do that, some guys might not want to
Ego,
do that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he don't need it. He don't need the money. If he wants to be competitive and play, you could do something like that. I know me and Kevin used to go watch when they had the Walrus. I think it was Craig Stowler. I think it was Craig Stowler, his name. We would go watch him, and
I remember Greg Norman's played in it.
Norman was playing at that time, and they was up here at Rock Barn. It was a nice course to go watch them play up there. If he'd come, it'd be a massive draw. I mean, could you imagine what it would do for that tour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
it would
just
do
the thought. All they do is put his name there.
Yeah.
They might be pulling more.
Yeah.
They might be pulling more viewers at the tournaments than the PGA.
Yeah.
Itself. So, well, let's get us a first commercial break, JP, and we'll come back and we'll probably go into college basketball and see what's going on that way. So, be back in a minute. KTC Broadcasting.
With the change of seasons, today's Pro in Shelby is having a sale, a clearance sale on the remaining name brand gas logs. Some are slightly used and some brand new, but they all come with a manufacturer's warranty. Also, displays are on sale as well. Come in and save and get ready for pool season. Today's Pro has all your pool supplies, and yes, they do water testing too. That's Today's Pro, 1325 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Call 704-600-8393. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Like them on Facebook too. Spring is sprung at Campers Inn RV in Kings Mountain, and there's nothing but fun and adventure lying ahead with a new RV from Campers Inn. See our beautiful land with your dream RV from Campers Inn. Now's the perfect time to turn your RV dreams into reality. But these great deals won't last long. Discover the freedom of the open road today with a new RV from Campers Inn RV. Kings Mountain, Highway 161 South at I-85 at 615 Broadview Drive. Online at campersin.com/Kings-Mountain. See Campers Inn today. Old Tom Turkey won't stand a chance after you've been to the great outdoors in Cherryville. Coming in for all of your turkey hunting needs. Just arrived the new Grind decoys, turkey shells, guns, and vests. For fishing, the great outdoors has the planer boards, and the new Gill rain suits are now in stock. Before you head out to the great outdoors. Highway 150 East in Cherryville, right behind McDonald's. There's nothing like cash in your pocket, especially if you can turn your scrap into cash with the help of Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling in Gastonia. For over 25 years, this locally family-owned and operated business has been giving some of the best prices for scrap. They take tungsten scrap carbide, as well as stainless steel, aluminum, copper, and brass. Need help? Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling will supply you with a roll-off container to help make your recycling easy. Turn your scrap into cash with the help of Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling. 305 Dogwood Street in Gastonia. Call 704-827-9468. Online at GastonUsedAutoPartsAndRecycling.com. It's time to get ready for spring. Time to head to Full Throttle Power Sports and 95 Trailers. Test drive an ATV or side-by-side today. Full Throttle Power Sports carry CF Moto, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Honda, and Slingshot. And check out their trailers with brand names like SureTrack, Iron Bull, and Triton. Stop by or give them a call at 704-833-1270. Full Throttle Power Sports, 100 Indian Walk in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com. They deal in fun. For over 60 years, Honda Motorcycles of Shelby has been serving this area, and they continue to do so today. Right now, you'll find a good inventory of dirt bikes, plus 150 and up to 450 models of on- and off-road bikes. See the new 2024 Honda Rebel, along with 4x4 ATVs and side-by-sides, including the Pioneer and the Talon, plus Gold Wings and Trikes. And don't forget about their parts and service department. That's Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, 4402 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at HondaMotorcyclesofShelby.com.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with the gang.
We've already got, I just want to get in there real quick. North Gaston won the Gaston County Easter tournament. They defeated East Gaston 5-0. So Wes Hepler and his guys, they get a win there. I mean, they played well in that tournament, so just want to make sure that our Gaston County folks know we keep up with them too. So North Gaston had a record of 10-4. I think they stand a very good chance of winning that conference over there. If you want to go to that, I know that a lot of our listeners may be more familiar with that conference. And that one's got North Gaston lost a couple to Stuart Kramer, and that was kind of surprising to me. Stuart Kramer at 2-4 in the conference, North Gaston at 4-2. South Point is at 6-0 in the conference, and Burns beat them 13-0. They struggled early, but I'll say this for a lot of the South Point teams, they're going to get better and better. Coach Lineberger does a great job with those guys out there at South Point. So. Right now in the Big South, it's Kings Mountain 6-0. We talked about they won a very good games at Burns for that Easter tournament championship. Crest at 6-0 in the conference, and they've been a little bit. They're not as strong as they usually are. Okay, but Coach McFarland out there does a good job with his bunch. He's got them at 6-0 in the conference, and South Point also at 6-0 in the conference. And we got North Gaston at 4-2, Stuart Kramer at 2-4, Forest View, Ashbrook, and Hunter Huss all at 0-6. In the conference, so it looks like it's a three-way race right now in the Big South, guys.
I hear you. So I want to speak on one other thing since we're still in high school right here. West Lincoln, they run their record to 7-6. They played a couple teams out of Gaston County, Cleveland County this past week. They beat South Point 15-5, and then they lost to Kings Mountain 4-3. They out-hit Kings Mountain for the game, but like 12-5, but lost 4-3 in that one. So. Coach Chapman over there with his squad. And in the conference play in softball, we have Maiden leading the way at 5-0. West Lincoln comes in fourth place at 4-3.
We'll go into college basketball now. We'll go to the women's first, guys. We got the national championship set up. NC State last night lost to USC. They played very well in the first half. I believe the halftime score was 33-32. They wind up losing that game 78-59, so they didn't play well in the second half. So we have South Carolina in the national championship game, and on the other side of the bracket, we had UConn playing Iowa. That was a very competitive game all the way down to the wire. You guys probably seen some of the end in that last minute. It was chaos.
It was, and it was a good pick.
Yep, it was.
It was a good sale by Marshall to get the call for her.
Yeah. There was some controversy over that. And 71-69, Iowa wins. Caitlin Clark moves on to the national championship. So you've got a USC team that is 37-0, possibly on a mission this year. They are going to be very, very tough for anybody to beat. Tom, we talked about that, and Terry, how solid that team is. It's going to take somebody really, really good, best games they've got to beat that team.
Clark's going to have to play a lot better than she did, especially in the first half. I mean, she had 6 points in the first half, a lot of turnovers in the first half. What they did, you saw they put somebody on her, just kind of dogged her, and they were letting, I will say there was a lot of contact, away from the ball, and they were letting it go. And if it's called like that again, I think, that's how you slow her down. You put somebody on her and you dog her out. Now, when she came in the third quarter, I don't know if you saw that double pick play where she came around and caught it and shot it from about 25 feet and hit a three. That's tough. They ask her to make 6, 7, 8 of those in a game, but she's going to have to beat South Carolina. I watched, and Terry, sorry about your Wolfpack girls, but they just couldn't hold a candle to South Carolina in that second half. I mean, they're good.
That South Carolina team's like the old UConn girls,
remember,
or Tennessee girls.
Yeah, and they said that they're so good they're hard to motivate, and I can see that because when you're in the Final Four and you're blowing somebody out by 20 points, it's just staying focused and staying motivated. Now I think they'll get up because Caitlin Clark is the darling of girls basketball, and if I'm playing for South Carolina, I'm going to say, hey, what about me? I mean, you talk a lot about this Clark girl. What about us? We hadn't lost a game all year.
And there's something else in that, too. And see if Terry agrees with me on this. Dawn Staley, right?
Oh, Lordy.
Right? She's the coach.
I'm going to tell you
and she was an excellent So you got, this generation's basketball player versus Dawn Staley's what everybody remembers. Or
How would you not want to play for her?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
and
she's
they're going to play.
get-
They're going to come out to play. You're exactly right. Play for her.
Yeah, and I mean, she's
and
a
her
coach
legacy.
that gets right in your face, like the old coaches used to do in football in high school. They used to get right in your face, grab the face mask and stuff. You don't do that no more. But Dawn Staley, she won the U.S. Olympics when she's been there. She won in college, and when she goes to talk to you, she's right in your face.
And
Like,
she's
you
got
should
enough
be
clout.
doing this,
She got
you
enough
know.
clout. She's been there. They're going to listen to her because she's done it.
That's it.
Don't
She's
that
done
matter?
it.
It's funny.
She has done it.
It's funny you would say that because that kind of happened to me in a baseball game the other day where a guy said, "Can I approach you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was letting me know what he thought about the last call. But it's like, people don't do this much anymore, do they? They don't come up and get in your face much anymore. But it's kind of one of those things where coaches used to be able to do that and get away with it now. You know, if you do that, they're going to make you go to sensitivity training in a lot of places. So it's just kind of, I guess you sort of have to read. You can't do that to all kids today,
No, you
Terry. You just
cannot.
know. You just can't. I mean, you want to, and you think it'll make them better, but sometimes
But
it'll make it worse. But she probably gets kids she knows she can do that to.
Yeah,
You know?
but Tom, you were talking about if they let them play like they did in the UConn game, where you're very physical.
Yeah.
Iowa has no chance if they let
I think
South
so, yeah.
Carolina come out and play them like that.
Because I was watching. I mean, they were really banging on Clark. they
And
were
she's
beating
not
her,
really
they
big.
were banging her. I mean, she's about a 6'1", 6'1", you know.
But she's real thin.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
Frail.
not. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say frail.
I'm talking about Curry type.
Okay,
Like Steph Curry type. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that.
She could probably whip any one of us in a fight.
Yeah.
But it's. I think that you are right. She's not that.
She's
like
more
that big
long and
body.
slender.
Yeah, that big body that can take a lot of abuse. So she didn't like it. You know, like you
I
can
know.
read her body language and her facial expression, and she's like, "Get off me, man!" You know, like she didn't like it. So we'll see what you know. They're going to talk to these officials before this game. I know they're going to talk to them and what they want. You know, how they want this game called, and they may say, "No, we want Clark to score 32 points, so call some fouls away
That's
from
what
the
I'm saying.
ball." Yeah.
Do you think she's got to be in the 35 to 40
I
point
think she's
range
got to score.
for them?
She's got to score 30 to beat South Carolina. I just don't. I watched them in the second half, and Terry, they are. I mean, they could just get up
They're
and
a
down the floor.
juggernaut.
They've got big girls down low that can clean the glass, that can score inside. They got girls that can shoot from the outside. I mean, they're just a complete team. I mean, like I said, small sample size. I'm not going to sit here and like I watch a lot of it. I watch the playoffs and things, this tournament. But just watching that second half against NC State, I don't know, they're going to be tough. And then watching Iowa, like I said, I've watched Iowa a couple times, watched them against Ohio State. They look pretty good. And they're a good team, but it just seems like the talent discrepancy in college girls is just like you can have two number ones and one beat the other one by 25 points. I mean, it's just one of those things that you don't see as often in the men's game. So we'll see. If I had to like lay my money down, I'd say, yeah, it's probably going to be South Carolina by 10. At least if I was a betting man, which I am when I have bonus bets. But
I think they said this would be like the 12th time an undefeated team has went to it, and the only one that has lost was the Fighting Irish and Notre Dame, and they lost to UConn, but UConn was undefeated also that same year. So
yeah, I just don't think Iowa quite has enough without like a Caitlin Clark miracle. So you might say, well, she had her like at least at half. She did not have a good half. So okay, maybe she has a better complete game against South Carolina, keeps them in it. I think it's going to be fun to watch. Regardless, it's going to be fun to watch.
But on our end, North Carolina State, this was a team that started the year that was not ranked, and then all of a sudden they go and they had to play UConn, and they beat UConn and played some teams from the Big Ten and knocked a couple of them off. And next thing you know, North Carolina State was ranked and went all the way up to either, I think, number 2 or number 3.
They was real high.
Yeah.
And as soon as they got there, they got beat, I believe, and got knocked down a little bit. But they've been
in the 12th up.
Yep,
ever
absolutely.
since. Then. So great year of them. 31 wins, 7 losses. And State was picked to finish like 8th or 9th in the conference with this squad. So, hey, very well succeeded.
Good coaching job.
They got their guards coming back next year too, Terry.
Yes, they do.
So So they should have a good team again next year. So, congratulations to them making the Final Four. It's an accomplishment, winning their bracket, or at least their region, you should say.
I think all of us sitting here would probably, if we was picking, we'd probably take, like Tom said, we'd probably take USC, South Carolina to win this game.
By at least 10.
Yeah. 10 was my number in my
By
head.
at least 10. We'll see, like I said, if Clark plays out of her mind, we'll see. But I got a feeling that if you watch what they did to her in the first half, I would expect more of the same.
Well, if the coach, there'll be ways that if the coach recognizes they might try to do that, there's ways to get her open. You remember how Rip Hamilton used to play and all those guys. There's ways, but to put or incorporate that at this late in the season to screen and everything, that's be tough.
Like, to get her loose on that 1-3,
Yeah.
they did 2 screens.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it's those college coaches. They know a lot.
They know what they're doing.
They'll
And
figure
South
it.
Carolina's going to be one of those, going to be like the Florida State, where everybody's so big, so all they're going to do is switch. So I don't think her getting open is going to be a lot in this game.
Yep, and like Tom said, she didn't like the contact. So let's transition over to the men's basketball right quick, guys. We have the Final Four setting up. Terry, man, it's been 40 years since you've had had this opportunity, so I'll let you start out and tell you what you think about your state Wolfpack.
Well, for everybody in North Carolina, we are the best team that's left.
Yep,
You
and
know,
the ACC's proven
that's-
true.
And for Duke, I hate it for them because last time they went this far, North Carolina knocked them out of it. Then State turns around this time
I
and
didn't
knocks
hate it.
them out of it.
I didn't hate it. I loved it.
But great game last week for State, and I was glad that Duke played. I ain't gonna say played into our hands, but they really did, because Duke had opportunities in the first half last week to put us away. We come out, we could not shoot, we couldn't hit nothing.
Both teams were tight.
They were very tight. But, and I agree with Shaka Smart, what he come out and said, and the coach from Oakland, what they both said. State's guards will be in your face, even no matter where you're at, they're going to be all up in your face, and State was that way. But at least in the second half, and it kind of makes you wonder how bad we played in the first half, but then come out in the second half, and we couldn't miss. I mean, we shot, there for a while, we were shooting 75% from the floor.
Into the third.
So I was proud of them there. And then once State got the lead and that thing got up to about 8 points, then they'd let it get down to 6, and then we'd run it back to 12. It's like State never let Duke get no closer than about 6, and then we'd run it back to 12 again.
Well,
So
with those guys, Tom, we got Edie, going to be matching up against Burns. Burns got that good footwork. He's not quite as big, tall-wise, but he is a monster down there. What do you think, Tom?
Get it over the 7'4" guy.
Yeah.
7'4" guy with his arms up, down low. He's just going to have a hard time. But of course, what's the big boy for Duke? Flipowski, is that his name?
Filipowski.
Filipowski.
He's like 7 foot.
Yeah, I mean,
But he's
So it's similar, and it seemed like he handled him pretty well. But I think Zach Edey's going to be considerably a bigger challenge for him. We'll see, because I keep saying, whenever time I watch State, and I will admit this, Terry, I'll say, this is it. State's they've gone far enough, because I thought, okay, Duke's going to beat them because they've gone far enough. The NC State, but it just keeps happening. They keep winning. They find ways to win. The Burns kid's playing out of his mind. He's a national sweetheart now,
Horn's
right?
playing
Everybody likes
good.
him. Yeah. I mean, and their support players are playing well.
Diarra.
And what's the other kid's name? Middlebrooks comes in there.
Middlebrooks.
Middlebrooks
plays
has been a
well,
great 6 man off the bench, and then they got the other guard. I don't know his
Taylor.
name. Taylor.
McConnell.
He's kind of beefy guy. Kind of mind you, Jim Jackson. If you remember the old Jim Jackson guy, he's got that man body. He can get down the lane pretty well.
Morsells, he's in there. I mean, that's where what they was talking about. When State puts 4 guards out there, they got 4 guards that can play with anybody.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna write them off. Do I think Purdue's going to win the game? I think they're going to win the game, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, don't tell NC State that, because what a team playing with house money. They were an 11 seed. Nobody thought they would be even in the NCAA tournament. Probably they thought they might beat Louisville in the ACC tournament. That's going to end their season. Maybe they'll go to the NIT. They're playing with house money. If they lose this game, what's everybody going to say? It was a great Cinderella run for NC State. If they get beat by 50, they're going to still say that.
I don't know if you guys saw Jay Billis this past week. And he's He was talking about it. He says best run he's ever saw because of how it started with the miracle
With the
shot
tournament,
against
yeah.
Louisville.
Yeah.
Where it banked in to get it to overtime, and then the overtime, and they've just been continuing on. So
I think a lot of people are pulling for NC State just because they are the Cinderella. They are the the one that was nobody gave a chance to probably even win their first tournament game. So I'll give you a puncher's chance, and I'm sure if Burns could hear me talk, he'd laugh. It's like, okay, you say I can't handle this guy. I keep handling people. You keep saying I can't.
His footwork is outstanding.
Yeah, because he's quick.
Yep.
He's very quick inside, and I can remember the announcer saying about the third or fourth time, like he catches the ball on the block, he'll make his little move and score. And the announcer finally said, "What do you do about that?" It's like
That's what I was fixing to say. That's what I was fixing to say. I mean, you're trying to focus on keeping it in front of you. He's 280, and then he spins like he's 220, and he goes baseline, and he's got a great touch.
And you got to be careful because you might take an elbow on the chops. but because remember when he floored the kid? I can't remember. Was it he floored the kid for Duke or somewhere? He just took it.
And on the other side of the bracket, guys, we got Alabama and UConn. Now, UConn is kind of a juggernaut this year, a little bit like that USC team for the girls. But this Alabama team can score, and when you can score, you got that puncher's chance. What do you guys think about that side?
3-pointers. I think if Alabama hits their threes, they can stay in it. But the Connecticut team that goes on a 30-0 run. I mean, an Elite Eight game, not in a first round game. They went on a 30-0 run in an Elite Eight game against Illinois. I think, I mean, it's just I don't see how anybody's going to beat them if they're playing their game. But basketball's weird. If you have a bad game, you're just shooting and doesn't go in. I think Alabama's got to. You're not going to get this far if you don't have a chance. I think they have a chance, but.
Well, they've got two losses. They lost to Kentucky, 69-65, and they lost to Seton Hall, who beat them by 15. So, they only scored 60 in that game. So
there's your bad game, right? There's your bad game.
Yeah, in the Kentucky game, we can probably write it off as Kentucky had a good ball team. They was just young,
now,
like every year.
I can't remember. It seems like Alabama's got one of their star players that hasn't played. And I didn't know if he was going to be able to come back.
I know he didn't play against us. I can't.
Right. He didn't play in the last game. I don't think he played against Clemson.
What does UConn do if a game's close? See, that's what I'm wondering right now, because you think of these scores. These are their last games that they've played. They won in round one, 91-52, Stetson. I mean, they should win that one. Mm-hmm. Then Northwestern, 75-58. San Diego State, 82-52. Illinois, 77-52. No game has been close. Nobody has pushed them to a limit of you got to hit a shot, and maybe Alabama can. Maybe Alabama can hit enough threes to stay in the game. I do not know. I mean, it all comes down to that.
They're going to have to hit threes.
They're going to have to hit them. Well, that's what they do. That's what Alabama does.
They can.
They're the leading scoring team in the country.
It seemed like they struggled early against Clemson, and Clemson took that 13-point lead. And as soon as Clemson got up 13, here they kept. I mean, and they just turned it on and went ahead and just didn't really look back. But
and when you think they can't, I mean, they did beat Carolina by 11 this year.
Was that Alabama?
This is UConn.
UConn, okay.
Yeah, they beat Carolina by 11. I mean, you go on down there and look at a couple of games and try to hunt some that's even close. Butler by 7. Xavier, they beat them by 5. So you're trying to look for a game. Villanova, they won by 1, but this was at Villanova. So you're going to have a bad game every now and then.
On
but
the road,
yeah, most of these games like 101-65, 81-53, 88, 85-66. I mean, these games are not even close.
Yeah, but when you talking about, can they hit a shot when it matters? If they're they play a lot of defense, very good defense. So if they get Alabama into a situation where they can't hit shots, Alabama might be in some major trouble. But like Tom said a minute ago, Alabama, if they get hot, they can hit it from anywhere on the court.
Yeah.
So it should be a very interesting game.
Their first
game.
Their first Final Four appearance.
That kind of shocked me. I was really shocked about that. I mean, Alabama's not known as the basketball school, but they have been good recently.
And if Clemson would have won, it would have been Clemson's first Final Four. Like Clemson's been in the Elite Eight, but Clemson hadn't been in the Final Four yet. So got close, but two football schools there, right? Clemson and Alabama. it's I think it's just spillover. Once you have a lot of success in a program get national recognition, you're going to get players to come in and play the other sports too. So it doesn't surprise me. Alabama is where they where they are. They can get the athletes to come down there. It's going to be. I think it'll be closer than the experts think. I want to say that Alabama's an 11.5-point favorite, 12-point favorite.
UConn.
Excuse me. UConn is. Andre, did you look at it?
I've got it here, but I'm trying to look at the spread.
I'll let you know.
I don't know.
why it's not. Oh, yeah, 11.5. I got it right here.
Yeah, 11.5. Because I know Andre's probably got a couple bonus bets
Oh,
left.
yeah. I'm already in
He's got. I know Andre's probably got a couple bonus bets left. So Andre, did you
if they covered that
did you
spread or
take
not.
did you take a swipe at that one, or did you let that one ride? What'd you do?
I always take me a swipe. I always try to go with the over-under on those.
Do you?
Anything close
Andre,
like that, I go over.
Andre, no, let me tell you something. It's my brother told me this because I went to the Hornets game when they played the Cavs, and I took the Cavs. Of course, they didn't cover, and I took the under. And in the first quarter, it was like 40-37 in the first quarter. I was like, bad day to take the under. And my brother told me, always take the over. Because it's like cheering for people not to score is not the same as people cheering to score, so it's a lot more fun to take the over. And I see what my brother's talking about. It's like, at least you could cheer for somebody to score, whereas cheering not to score is just kind of, you're kind of cheering for somebody to fall off the ladder once they're at the top of it. So, I mean, it's just not, it just kind of makes you feel bad. So I don't know. What's the over in that one? It's got to be about 170. It's got to be 170 at least.
I know the over is always where I find my most success.
Yeah.
But I also learned never go against the Hornets. The Hornets will blow your parlay.
It's funny. It's funny, man. And I know we're going to get the NBA eventually, but old Clifford's hanging it up.
Yeah.
And you know what? Because he's plain spoken, I like that about him. Like when he got national attention for saying, "Look, we're just not talented. We have to work harder because you're just not as talented as the other guy." That's something your high school coach would tell you. You know what I mean? That's something your high school coach. Look, son, you're not that good, so you're gonna have to work really hard.
The over and under on that is 160.
Really? Well, yeah. I mean that's an 80-80 game. Yeah.
High scoring.
Yeah, that should be a high scoring game. But
that's how I be starting at the quarters. I only be
yeah.
So what's the state over and under on theirs?
State
Well, I was looking at this and just thinking of what you're talking about. I mean, out of all the national champions that we've ever had, there's only 15 teams who have won 2 or more. So when you take everybody else, I mean, Purdue don't have nothing. Alabama has nothing. I mean, they're making their first trips. But you take North Carolina State's won 2, UConn has won 5. UConn wins this one, that would be 6-time North Carolina, for third all time. So if State would win this, State would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th in the total, of all time championships.
If they win this, it will trump the 83 drastically because of how they came in this.
I tried to tell people, I said, if you think of scenarios when we had it's like Duke. We beat Duke in the tournament. Then we beat them in the NCAA tournament. It's almost like Virginia back in 1983. We beat them in the ACC tournament. Then we had to beat them in the NCAA to go on. And then I said, you go here. All we got to do is survive today. That's what it is. Win
Get
today.
past Edie.
Get by Edie today. And then you put yourself in an opportunity. And when people say, hey, it can never happen, we was never supposed to be Houston back in 83, and it happened.
What if Burns gets Edie in foul trouble?
Well, I guarantee Burns is not going to be scared of the guy. That's for sure. There's no way that's going to happen.
That changes the whole dynamic of the game.
But the only problem you ever run into is which one's going to get in foul trouble. And as I
ready to
noticed,
say, turn the tables. What if Burns gets?
That's what I'm saying because I noticed last week.
Because Middlebrooks ain't that big.
6'11", man. He's not.
Yeah. He ate everybody alive last week. He had 40 points against a team that I thought could be able to handle him and stop him some way. I mean, he got by with, and some people say, well, that's a foul, that's a foul, that's a foul. But it seems like Edie gets all the fouls for himself against the other guy. So, State cannot get in foul trouble. We got 3 guys to stick in there at him, but we've seen how that works sometimes.
Last week, y'all got in foul trouble. It was getting sketchy a little bit with the two of the big guys getting in foul trouble. If they can stay out of foul trouble, I think y'all got a good shot. So did you have the over under? Did you tell us that?
Nah, the over under was 147.
147 on the state game.
They gave state 10.
Yeah, so there you go.
I would still take state.
10 points is a lot.
Yeah, with the team that's playing well, it's playing together, and playing like Tom said, with house money, that matters a lot. So, you guys got anything else to talk about college basketball?
No.
All right, let's go to our next commercial break here, JP, and then we'll be right back. Kevin will be calling us right at 9 o'clock, and we'll start talking about a little bit of a opening day baseball.
When you walk in the door at Jumpin' Jed's in Fallston, you'll see it. It's a beautiful custom-made live edge oak river table featuring river rock pebbles. You've got to see it to believe it. And it comes with a resin bench. And at Jumpin' Jed's, a fresh shipment of dough bowls. Also homemade soaps made in Maggie Valley. See the new line of Americana products, including pillows, rugs, and prints. And take 15% off Moo Cat Moo Studio Jewelry. That's Jumpin' Jed's, Main Street, downtown Fallston, open Tuesday through Saturday. Like them on Facebook, too. Simply put, Classic Ford Lincoln in Shelby is this area's truck store. And it's Truck Month at Classic Ford Lincoln. Right now, you can get up to $8,000 off all new trucks or get 1.9% APR financing for 72 months. Come in and see dealer for details. When you think of trucks, think of Classic Ford Lincoln in Shelby with over 100 trucks available. See Classic Ford Lincoln, 1775 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at ClassicFordofShelby.com. Have fun in the sun this spring and summer with a recreational vehicle loan from Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville with rates as low as 5.99% annual percentage rate. This loan includes campers, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, and even tractors. Come in and apply now, but hurry, limited time offer. Again, recreational vehicle loans with rates as low as 5.99% annual percentage rate at Carolina Federal Credit Union, 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville. Online at carolinafcu.org or call 704-435-0186. Rates and terms are based on the evaluation of credit.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive on Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain. It's Dodge Power Shot Days at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Shelby. Come in now and lease a new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT for $399 per month for 24 months. $44.09 due at signing. No security deposit required. Lease payment term is factored in. A $6,500 EV incentive provided by lender. Don't miss Dodge Power Shot Days going on now at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1310 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Keep clean with a stop in at This and That Trading Post in Dallas. On special this week, glass and chrome cleaner for $1.75. Leather cleaner, $1.75. Keep the pest away with mothballs for $1.25 and roach bait, $2.50. This and That Trading Post has beach sand chairs for $10. Microban, $2.25. Potato peelers, $1.25. And auto speakers are $19. This and That Trading Post, 3857 Dallas Ice Road in Dallas, right across from the trade lot.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with the gang. And I do believe we have Kevin on the phone.
Yeah.
You there?
Yep,
Yeah.
we got you.
Hello?
Yeah,
Got you. Can you hear us?
We're in the hotel room getting ready for our continental breakfast here in a minute. We got we're an hour behind, so y'all started texting this morning. I was like, why is everybody texting me so early? I forgot I'm in a different time zone.
Yeah, I didn't know you were out of town, and then when I texted you, I was like, man, it's like 6 o'clock there then.
Yeah. Well, I seem to remember when I was out in California last year, Terry texted me at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Why aren't you up? You did it. I was like, because it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, it's like Terry didn't really study lunch.
Terry didn't care. That was his point.
There's
So is it,
the difference. Thank you, Kevin.
Is it you and the kids and Amy, or is it just you and the kids?
Me and the kids and Amy.
Okay.
We're
The whole family came?
we are. Do what now? Go ahead.
The whole family came, so yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday we went to
you can't stay in a hotel till 4 or 5 o'clock. So yesterday we left last night about midnight and drove through the night. And we this morning or yesterday morning when we got into town, we went to the Arch, and that's what the pictures and everything from I send you guys. It's pretty cool. I've been a few times. The kids haven't, and they enjoyed the little train ride up there. For claustrophobic people, it's not for you at all.
Yep, not me.
I'll say that. No, that little. I sent you a picture. You see me and Barron. You're in a basically a giant metal ball, and you go up and you're attached to the train, and it takes you up in it, and you see the insides of it, which is pretty neat and everything. But it's not for the claustrophobic people. But Barron, of course, he made sure everyone at the Arch knew he was there with all his crying and whining, and he wasn't like upset. He just wanted down so he could run and go do whatever he wasn't supposed to. Like if there was a line somewhere that said "No visitors cross here," that's where he was going.
So how'd you get out there? Did you drive or fly?
Oh, we definitely drove. It's a 3-hour flight. It's an hour and a half flight. I'm sorry, 3 hours to Dallas. It's an hour and a half flight if anybody wants to do it, but it's a 10-hour drive. So I'm not going through all the flight stuff with the kids and everybody. It's not that bad of a drive. Once you get over the mountains, it's pretty flat. Once you get past Knoxville, it's just the mountain passes are the toughest. It did snow in Asheville last night when we were driving through, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't know if any of them stayed.
Yeah, I know Beach Mountain had some snow this past weekend.
I wonder if they opened up the ski resort. Open them back up for one day.
They might have.
Yeah, open them back up for one day.
Well, you guys up there?
It is 30. It is 37 degrees here right now.
Well, it ain't too warm here. It's 43 right now.
We had a frost freeze warning last night in Augusta.
We came out. When I looked at the weather this week, it was supposed to be 75 and sunny all 3 days this weekend, and then that front came through and drastically changed. It feels like January here in St. Louis instead of baseball weather.
What time's the ball game today?
1:15 today and tomorrow. We're going into the stadium about 11. Actually, because it's cold, I haven't got the tickets yet, and I'm looking online. There's some that you got access. We can go inside. Not like you're not in the inside, but you have access to inside food and beverage and stuff to go in there and buy it. And I think we may have to get one of those tickets just to be able to get the baby inside because it's so cold out here.
Yeah, y'all probably enjoy that better anyway. Probably had a real good view. With looking at the standings here, we're going into baseball. We know this is basically the opening of the season these last 2 weeks, basically. And the Cardinals, you guys kept your coach. I know you were unfortunate to do that on your own part. You didn't like that, but they're 4-4.
Well, yesterday was opening day here in town. They started on the road. The coach and the GM were booed during the opening introductions of the season.
Shocker! They're setting it, 4-4.
You won.
Sitting at 4-4 at the bottom of the NL Central, and they're the only team in the NL Central. I'm looking at the standings right now, Kevin. The only team in the NL Central that does not have a positive point or scoring differential. They're sitting at even right now, so maybe you can Well,
besides the coaching, one of the other reasons that the fans are upset with the general manager is he talked big this offseason, said they're going to do this and that, and we didn't add a single starting pitcher or nothing. And that nothing to the pitching, and that was our big issue last year is we couldn't pitch, and everybody was crushing us. So we had to keep up hitting-wise. And then here we are again. They made no changes. And so I'm interested to see how the fans do today at 500. I don't think they're going to put up with another losing season, not this franchise. And everything. They gave Skip Shoemaker a standing ovation from the Miami Marlins and then turned around, so they used to play for him, and then turned around 3 minutes later and booed the GM and head coach.
Well, you look at the NL Central, and you guys should be able to be competitive. It ain't like there's a juggernaut in that Central. It's usually coming out of the West or the East right now.
So. Yeah, I saw Tom's. Was it Kansas City at favorite or Cleveland? One of them's favorite over there. I thought I saw something silly the other day about Kansas City or something. Terry might be able to answer that. I'm not sure.
The Royals are 4-4.
Yeah, Royals are 500 right now.
Y'all got.
Yep.
Okay. A couple other things real quick about St. Louis. I give Tom said he hadn't quite made it out here or whatever, but the the parking situation in downtown is that's like, I think that's the major business here downtown. There's parking lots and garages, and everything is parking. It's not cheap. The city itself is really pretty as far as all the government buildings. It looks like Rome here. Like, they are just massive government columns and buildings, and it's ridiculous. But the thing we did yesterday after the art was the zoo here in St. Louis is one of the best in the nation, but it's also free. So they don't have, and we went yesterday thinking, it's spring break, so it's Friday, it might not be that packed. Good grief. There was no parking at the zoo. You had to park in a park down the street and kind of walk or take a shuttle or something. There was a ton of people, but I will say that they got a pretty good zoo. It's probably better than ours here in North Carolina. But it being free, you just walk in and they had pretty much all that, any animal you could want to see, and I can't think of any animals that they didn't have, but I would recommend the zoo. It's free. It's a nice little park. You just walk straight in and do it. Do whatever you want, and you walk through one checkpoint for guns and all that other stuff. But other than that, it's walk in, walk out, and come see the animals. And they have shows you can pay for, like they got a sea lion show and all that other stuff, but you can pay for extra to do the extras and stuff. And that's how they raise their money in donations. But it's pretty neat. I would recommend the zoo if anybody comes out here. This is free because the arch wasn't free. That was if you switch the prices on the two, I would have understood. So, but if you do them both, you get your money's worth. I'll put it that way. The arch is a little expensive.
Stay away from the St. Louis Metro. Just stay away from that. Don't ride that. I'm just telling you, don't ride the. I made the mistake of riding that when I was out there, so just stay away from that.
We rode it 20 years ago. I'll put it that way. So last time I was on it was then, and we had to ride it from the airport to downtown, and it dropped you right off at your hotel. So that's the only experience I have with the Metro and any of that, Tom, is just actually riding in from the airport. So I guess that's probably what you did too.
Take a knife with you if you get on there. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you it's not what I would recommend. Now the Amtrak, when I got the Amtrak in St. Louis and took it to Springfield, Illinois, super nice, super clean, super great people. Took you where you wanted to go. You could stop on all the little towns because it goes there. It goes from St. Louis to Chicago, so you could it was really nice. But the Metro is just kind of like the Wild Wild West. It's kind of like a de facto shelter. You know what I mean? So you get people that may be under the influence and doing some kind of crazy stuff and all that.
Now, I will say, like, as far as the city, like, I've never been to New York or anything like that, but like you'll see a beautiful building with facades and everything, and then right next to it is a building that's shut down and there's gang painting on it.
Right.
So, like, I think this city and other cities across the nation are having trouble. Once one of these buildings, the tenant goes out, how do you replace that without having to remodel the whole thing? Think about the millions of dollars that goes just remodeling these giant buildings. And I don't have an answer for it, but it is kind of weird seeing, like Tom said, you see all this nice stuff, like the dog food people. They've got their headquarters here, maybe one of them, and they've got this big giant sprawling complex, and right outside the complex is buildings covered in gang painting and stuff. So that's what do you say? What do you say about that? But anyway, back to baseball, real quick. Cardinals. The Central is not too strong. I don't know how the AL Central is. All the money, it looks like, it's on the East and West Coast for that. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it goes. I expect the coach to be fired, hopefully, this year. I'll say hopefully. Unless they win the division, we can go and run, which I don't think they will. I don't think they got the personnel for that. And so we're gonna go and enjoy it. I saw a couple of cool Cardinals hats I might buy. The kids are going to do some. They got if you know what Build-A-Bear is, they got to build a Fred Bird workshop here in the stadium. So the kids are going to build some Fred Birds. That's the mascot for the Cardinals, so that's going to be fun. Tom, I did have a couple. I thought I had a couple tweet things I wanted to say. I saw something about Cleveland. I may be wrong, but anyway, go back to baseball. I'm sorry to wander off there a minute on the zoo and whatever.
Well, y'all have a good time up there, Kevin. We'll go over some of these standings and some of this opening week stuff, and y'all have a fun time and take some pictures, and we'll see you when you get back.
Hey, real quick, Martinsville this weekend, right, Terry?
Yes.
I just saw a video of Jimmy Johnson with his 8 clocks, and he doesn't know how to work them. I guess he's racing this weekend if he's on and talking about it.
He had what?
Oh, we're talking about Jimmy Johnson.
He was showing off his Martinsville clocks, his grandfather's clocks. He's got 8 of them, and I was just wondering if I don't know for sure if Terry knew that he was racing this weekend or not.
Do you know Terry?
I have no idea.
That's fine. I can check myself. That ain't that big a deal. I was just curious if you had known off the top of your head on that. Let's see. I'm trying to go through a couple of tweets I might have. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw this, guys, but the Rays had a dog night where you bring your dogs to the park, and to get the dogs barking all at the same time, the Rays music man would play doorbell rings.
Wow.
You get that?
Yes.
They would sit there and they had a sound effect. They'd hit the doorbell ring while they were batting, and then all the dogs in the park would start barking at it.
All you'd have to do around my dog is say kitty, and she'd go nuts. But she hates cats, and she knows what the word kitty
I thought
is.
that was a pretty funny thought yesterday. All right, finally, Zach, I'm going to leave you one quick final thought before I go here. Yesterday, Wrestling Ops and Bleacher Report came out with the 50 greatest wrestling superstars of all time. WWE.
How bad?
I'm going to give you a chance to name the top 4.
In WWE, no NWA people at all?
This is Bleacher Report's 50 greatest WWE superstars of all time. I tell you, the oldest person I see on the list, I do see Flair. I do see Ricky the Steamboat. I see the Andre. So it's at least going back to that time. So I'll give you that. That's probably the latest I've seen.
Theirs will probably differ.
The top 4 WWE.
I'll give you the top 4 that I think they would pick.
That's what I want you to get.
I'm sure Cena's on it.
He's 5.
Okay, so he was close. Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan is 10 on this, and that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold is 2.
The Rock.
Yeah.
He's 7.
Somebody say Goldberg yet?
I don't think he's on the list.
Undertaker.
Kane.
Undertaker is 4.
Kane.
Okay. So who in the world would they have over those guys? Surely not Roman Reigns.
He's 13, above Andre the Giant at 14.
Wow.
Who would they put over? Who would they put over Hogan and Stone Cold? My top 4 would be Flair, Undertaker, Hogan, and probably Sting.
Well, WWE.
Yeah, I know that's what you were saying, WWE. So I didn't name one of those guys.
Sting's not in WWE.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I was saying. But who would they put over those guys? Huh?
Bruno Sammartino was 6.
I don't know who they would put in over those guys.
Zach, did you hear me?
Yeah, Bruno Sammartino.
They got him at 6 in front of The Rock.
Yeah, they've lost their minds. Man.
I don't know what idiot did this. Kurt Angle is number 11, three spots in front of Andre the Giant.
Who's 1 and 2? You
So
said
they got
Stone
Kurt
Cold
Angle
2.
3 spots. Ray Mysterio at 12 is in front of Andre the Giant. This is Bleacher Report. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. All right, Zach. Well, number 4 was The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Number 3, Macho Man. Oh,
Wow, I'm
yeah.
surprised at that. I love Macho Man, but I wouldn't have thought they would have had him that high.
You don't put Macho over Hogan, do you?
No, you got if it's
That's
those
what
two,
I'm
it's
saying.
Stone Cold and Hogan. I mean,
So Stone Cold was 2, and the number 1 WWE superstar of all time, according to Bleacher Report, Bret the Hitman Hart.
yep, they those are nice. Now Bret was good, but he's not the best superstar. Yeah, Bleacher Report's fired.
All right, I thought you'd like that one.
Kevin.
You guys have a good day. Call back if you need anything. I'm going to watch the rest of the show
Kevin.
here
Terry
from St. Louis.
Kevin.
Good luck, Wolfpack. I want to talk Wolfpack real quick. Good luck,
Wait a minute.
Wolfpack. There's Wolfpack Nation across the world right now. Good luck to them. I'm pulling for them. Them being good is better than Duke being good
It's
for
true.
ACC and the rest of the world.
That tells you how much has changed over 30
Kevin,
years.
got a question. We're talking
Yeah, go
about
ahead.
Jimmy Johnson. His next race is in Texas, April the 14th.
Okay. Got you.
Too
Thank
far
you.
away. That's what, week and a half.
Yeah. Well, next week.
Next, it is the
Yeah.
7th, ain't it? My goodness. So we'll have a good time, and we'll see when you get back.
All right, guys. Good luck on the show. Have a good time.
All right. So we'll get on our standings today, guys. I'll go over the AL standings right quick with the leaders. You got the New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox, unfortunately, tied for first in the East. I'm sure Chip's happy about that. At the Central, We got the Detroit Tigers at 6-1, but Tom, we got your Cleveland Guardians at 6-2. The good thing about that Cleveland Guardians stat is they're plus 30 in run differential. Terry, you're sitting down there at 4-4, but that's a good start for you guys. I was going to bring that up. You're at a plus 14, so that 4-4, you go with that little modifier. You guys can score some runs, and you got the Texas Rangers sitting at 5-2 in the West. If we go down to the National League in the East. The Braves sitting there at 4-2. We got the only team in the East has a plus run differential. We're plus 22, so I'll take that all day. I believe run differentials matter. It shows you can score.
Marlins are 0-8.
That's we all know that's a team that'll spend money to win one championship, and then they'll be in oblivion for the next 20 years. The Central, you got the Milwaukee Brewers sitting there at 5-1. Pittsburgh Pirates sitting at 6-2, and Chicago 5-2. So they're almost like a log jam at the top. But that can be anybody can win that particular division. That's what I was talking with Kevin about St. Louis being there. There's not a juggernaut in that division. And then we got the West. We got of course, we got the Los Angeles Dodgers with the Pete Rose of today's time leading them. And so they're sitting at 7-3. We'll see how that all works out for them. So what are you guys thinking on this year's start to the season?
Well, my question right off the bat, we're looking at the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they spent so much money. They're 7-3. Do they lose 55 games?
So if they lose 55,
that's 107 wins.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I say anywhere between 100 and 110 is where I was thinking 103 to 105. So that's fair. And they spent a lot of money.
They did spend a lot of money. 7-3 to start the season, so
it's about the pace.
Yeah,
it's about the pace. Of course, they're trying to buy a World Series. Of course, you said Cleveland at 6-2, and that big run differential helps when you play the Oakland A's.
And we'll have to talk a little bit about Oakland. I don't know if you guys seen the news this week. Did y'all see the news on those guys? They're going to be playing, and they're going to be playing at another stadium for like the next 2 years before they go to Las Vegas, another city. They're going to be playing in Oakland. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, it's sad what's happening to Oakland sports because, I think it is a sports town. They lost a football team. They're going to lose the baseball team. They lost the basketball team. They moved to San Francisco. So it's just tough in Oakland right now. Hate it for them, but they're going to move to Vegas. Is that official that they're going to move to Vegas?
I'm going to pull it up right quick.
Ain't it 2025, 26, something
27.
like that? Is it that long?
I just saw it the other day, and shame on me for not having this pulled up. But when you said A's, it made me think. Oakland A's to play in West Sacramento for 3 seasons.
Wow.
West Sacramento for 3 seasons. And I'm not, I'll be honest with you, I'm geographically inclined over in that way. I don't know the state that much, so I don't really know. It says it's 86 miles away. They're going to start there in 2025.
Yeah, 3 years they'll be there.
So that tells you
Sacramento until Vegas Stadium is ready. Yeah, that's what the news says. Yep.
So I mean, you're Oakland. How bad is that for your fan base? Which I know they hadn't been showing up, but who's going to show up when they don't put any money into the team and they don't win? We all know there's a lot to do out in L.A. But then you go to Sacramento, and then you're not even going to stay there. So how many fans are you going to be able to pull in Sacramento before you ship off to Las Vegas?
Well, here we go again with Washington changing their last names all the time to Oakland going to change their first name into something else. I'm so used to the Oakland A's for my whole life. I mean, from Vita Blue all the way back in the 70s, all the way up, Johnny Bench. Not Johnny Bench, but some other players that played for them, Gene Tennis and all. But when I think about all them guys that played then and then all of this changed now, I mean, it's hard for me as an older person to think of them being somebody else.
Yeah, I remember Dennis Eckersley playing for them.
And
the Nash brothers, McGuire
and Dave Stewart
played. Yeah, Dave
Put Stewart up there on, man. I used to love to watch him get up there.
And all those Oakland A's from the 80s and 90s. It's just
sad.
It's sad what's happened to that town, and I don't know enough. I know it's, they're not San Francisco, right? They're not the wine and cheese city. They're more blue collar place, and I just hate to see them lose their sports teams like that because Oakland Raiders. I mean, it's just like
That's what you know.
the Oakland Raiders.
It goes back, and I didn't know this, but it just says right here that they were approved unanimously by the owners to move. I was surprised it'd be a unanimous vote to move.
Because they're not, the city or whatever is not doing their job. And I guess the residents don't want them anymore. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm just not well versed enough, but if you just have a unanimous move and nobody's going to the games, it just, you hate to see it happen, but if they don't want
it's
them
happening in everything. That's what
Yeah.
gets you. If you were to say, hey, well, we're going to keep football, the heck with baseball and everything else, at least somebody would have something there to go to. But to think the city does not want anything, I mean, I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, and I mean, you said here, and for me, I can remember, using, you said the Oakland Raiders. It's still hard for me to say L.A. Chargers.
Yeah.
Or what I still think San Diego. That's all that comes in my head. Again, we know Las Vegas is a big draw. I don't know if it, put the Raiders back on the map by any means by going to Las Vegas. But you get a nice new stadium. You're going to get all the bling and stuff like that. So I guess we'll see how that works out in 2028. That's a long time, guys.
Yeah.
For them to be in another area. So, what you guys' thoughts on of the National League and the American League as we stand right now? Who you think regardless of the standings, who you think are the juggernauts, pretty much?
Well, I mean, the Yankees have spent a good amount of money, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Dodgers have spent a good amount of money. I mean, in baseball, you kind of buy it. I'd like to see a Cleveland, a Kansas
Baltimore.
City, somebody else smaller market do it again. So I hope, but it almost makes it uninteresting, that when you see these teams just drop money and buy it, they need to do something to make it more competitive.
That was my next question.
On the football model,
Yes,
because
exactly where I was
everyone has
going.
a chance. Like Cleveland has a chance.
You should have.
Because another team can't just come in there. Now you could screw it up still in football and run run it into the ground. Like the Jets or what the Texans did for a little while. But the Texans are kind of rebuilding. They're coming back. You're able to do that. You're not able to do that in baseball. It doesn't seem like if you're a small market team and you don't hit on your draft picks and you don't get the most out of them, like the first 3-4 years,
when it's time to pay them,
like a Lindor for Cleveland, right?
Mm-hmm.
He helped Cleveland a lot, but then it's time to write the big check and he goes to the Mets.
Same thing with Kansas City.
Yeah,
with some of your hitters and pitchers.
So you have small, when you're the small market team, you just kind of have small windows. You got to hit on your prospects. You got to get the most out of those 2 or 3 years. Because then when it's time to re-up the contract, they're going somewhere. They're going to New York. They're going to L.A. They're going to Boston. They're going to the bigger markets. So it makes it special when they're able to do it, when they're able to do it. But at the same time, it's just, I get tired of the Dodgers, Reds.
Mm-hmm.
And like even if you try to watch that, I don't really watch Sports Center anymore. I mean, it's like rare once in a blue moon. But if you do, Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, and then everybody else. Oh, by the way, Cleveland won. That's it. You don't really. It just gets old.
Kevin hit on something right here. He said Oakland had a better proposal for a baseball stadium than both Vegas and Sacramento. Owners making the decision no to the cities. See, now that puts vice versa of what I was just saying. It's not the city now. You think of the owners of everybody else are saying no to them. And why would you do that? Out of all the success that they've had in the past, from the Oakland Raiders, the Oakland A's, for them to say no to them, we do not want to be there. That kind of.
Yeah, I'm reading what he said. I didn't get it till you just said that Oakland had a better proposal for baseball stadium than both Vegas
and
Sacramento. It kind of kicks you in the crawl a little bit, And again, we all are older now. We can have more nostalgia than some of the younger fans, and they don't have any ties to them. Maybe they won't matter to them as much, but to us older fans and stuff that we remember, it just changes up the dynamic of what we see in the standings in the baseball. It just changes it up a lot.
It does.
That's the way I see it. So we'll finish up with our baseball here. We'll go to our next commercial break. And when we come back, we'll be going into NBA basketball, and then we'll touch just for a few minutes at the end about the racing at Martinsville. We'll be back, KTCBroadcasting.com.
Grizzly the Greeter says, now's the time to get your new barn dominium at Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes in Cherryville. Because right now, you can take 15% off all barn dominiums. Come see the new designs and get ready for spring. Take 15% off all greenhouses. Plus, you'll find carports, storage buildings, and boat covers too. At Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes, Highway 150 East in Cherryville, right across from Ace Hardware. Online at blessedbuildings-tinyhomes.com. Looking for a pre-owned vehicle? Then head to the home of the $5,000 test drive. Come on in for the details. That's Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. This week at Renato Honda, take a look at a 2015 Mini Cooper for $13,990. Also a 2012 Jeep Wrangler Sport for $17,950. And in the service department, buy $69.99 diagnostics and get $10 off any fluid service, excluding an oil change. At Renato Honda and Renato Kia. At Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
Hi, I'm Skylar Rambo Cheney, driver of the number 17 NASCAR Weekly Series late model stock car. When I need quality services, I shop with Hendricks Honda of Hickory, Bug Busters, Country Town and Tire, Farm Bureau Insurance with Marvin Melton, Doug's Fleet and Auto Glass, and ProMotion Motor Company. Support your local businesses, and I'll see you at the track this year.
ProMotion Motors, celebrating 25 years in business at 2527 East Main Street in Lincoln. Online at promotionmotors.com and like them on Facebook too.
Francis Brothers Used Cars, now in their 55th year in business, has proudly served the people of Cleveland and Rutherford counties since 1969 with a great selection of nice buy here, pay here cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Don, Bino, and Casey invite you to check out their inventory. They look forward to helping you get your next vehicle and offering oil changes, OBD inspections, brake works, shocks, axles, and CV joints in their service center. Francis Brothers Used Cars and Service Center, 134 North Main Street in downtown Boiling Springs. See them for your next automotive buy or service.
On the Go Quick Lube in Falston is not just oil changes, they have tires for all cars with names like GT Radio, Hankook, and Toyo, plus interstate batteries and wiper blades. Of course they do oil changes, featuring Castrol, Motorcraft, and Rotella diesel oil, and they carry diesel truck fuel filters. Plus they're an official North Carolina inspection station. For quick service with competitive pricing and professional technicians, head over to On The Go Quick Lube today. 3716 Falston Road, Highway 18 north of Shelby, and go Burns Bulldogs. It's the best deal ever on a mattress at Kurt's Premium Outlet in Eastridge Mall in Gastonia. Now for a limited time, buy a queen size purple mattress. Regular price from $3,000 to $4,000 for just $475. That's right, only $475. And you'll also find twin, full, queen, and king size adjustable beds starting at $336. And all cash and carry furniture is 10% off. Also, keep clean with Purex pods, 22 count for $1.98, and Presto detergent pads, 96 count for $8.64. Kurt's Premium Outlet, Eastridge Mall on North New Hope Road in Gastonia. Like them on Facebook too. Open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday 9 to 6, Friday and Saturday 9 to 7, Sundays 12 noon till 6 p.m.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with the gang.
Yep, we're back on here at the Sports Talk Show, sponsored by McDonald's of Cherryville. If you want to go out and get you something good to eat today, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, go see Mr. Kuthan and the gang. So we're going to go into NBA. We're getting down to the final games of the season. Boston has played 61, 71, 77, so about 5 games left on the season. In the East, Boston is tops by – they've run away. Guys, let's just be honest about it. They run away with the East. 61 wins, 16 losses. The next is Milwaukee Bucks with that big blockbuster trade that they got at the beginning of the year to bring Damian Lillard on. I always said when that happened, I know they've had some injuries and stuff, but I said when that happened that, yes, they can score, but defense matters, and they gave up a really good defensive person to get him. So 47-30, they're the second team. Cavs holding strong, Tom, about where they were last year. I think they might have finished up 4th or 5th.
Yeah, not holding strong, though. They've been struggling a little bit.
4-6 in the last 10, so you're correct on that.
Yeah, they went out to Denver and got blown out. They came to Charlotte and got beat. Donovan Mitchell hasn't been healthy. That's going to hurt them. And then all this, like, all the clickbait on there. Donovan Mitchell is not going to go.
I was going to bring that up.
Donovan Mitchell. I was like, just play the season. Is
he going to be a Nick? Well, the Knicks got their own problems. They've lost Randall.
But seriously, why are we talking about a Donovan Mitchell contract extension when the season is just getting towards the playoffs?
When you're a third seed.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if he leaves, he leaves. Okay, well, I mean, I understand. I mean, I'm a capitalist too. If he can make more money somewhere else, that's what these guys do. I mean, but just can we have the season? I mean, they talk about these contract extensions like it's, like it's the middle of the summer and the season's over. It's the season's not over. Let the season play out, and then we'll see what happens. But Cleveland here lately has been struggling a little bit. Want to stick? We are. I think sometimes we forget. We are a Hornets affiliate.
Yes.
And big news from Charlotte is Steve Clifford has decided to step away from coaching. I understand he's going to stay with the team, though. He's going to be like an advisor. Going to be a front office guy, wear a suit to work every day. I think he's going to be one of those guys. A lot of people don't like Steve Clifford. And if you hear it's just like, well, he can't get the most out of his guys or whatever. I like I'm in the minority. I'm like one of the guys who actually likes him.
Yeah.
Because I like plain spoken people who tell it like it is. I think
coach.
Steve Clifford is that guy, but it might not work with these the Instagram generation, if that makes any sense. So I mean, I think he knows his X's and O's. I think he's a very knowledgeable coach. I just don't getting the most out of people today. How do you do it? I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm giving up my job in a couple of years, Terry. It's like this generation. How do you get a lot out of them? I was talking to one of my buddies who coaches, and I was like, he's having a hard season. He goes, what bothers me the most is just the effort. Getting the effort out of this generation is just tough. And I know the older generation always says that about the younger generation, the kids these days. But it's one of those things, man. It's got to be tough. And he's 62. I think he's 62, which isn't old,
No.
Which isn't old. I mean, been around long enough to know the X's and O's of this game. So, and I know a lot of Charlotte fans are going to be happy. Well, Clifford's gone. Good. No, we're terrible. What's their record? We've only won 19 games this year. Who are you going to get? Who's coming to Charlotte, Terry?
Anybody can win 19 games.
Who's coming to Charlotte?
You just put a team out there and probably win.
Anybody can win 19 games.
Well, not the Pistons. They've won 13. Not the Wizards. They've won 15. So what I'm saying is, you guys aren't answering the question.
Yeah. I am answering the question.
Who's coming to Charlotte to
what
turn this franchise around?
Yeah, you're not getting.
Right.
You're going to get an upstart.
Who's coming to Charlotte to turn this franchise around?
You might get somebody that was somebody's assistant to come in.
Yeah. Brandon Miller's a pretty good player. I think Ball, and I know Kevin hates him, but if he's on the floor,
healthy.
If he's on the floor healthy, he's going to help the team. I can't remember the guy's name. He's a European player, number 22. I can't remember what his last name is. I watched him play, but he was pretty impressed.
And the guy we picked up from Dallas is decent.
Yeah.
Williams.
So
Grant Williams.
I mean,
he come from Boston. He was used to winning.
Yeah.
That matters.
Does everything have to
come
come
full circle? That matters.
Can we talk about the Hornets without talking about Boston?
Well, I'm just saying it matters.
For just a second, please.
A culture matters,
So this is not a Boston Celtics show.
We're talking about a team that's won 19 games, Tom.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is nobody's answering the question. Does anybody know who their possibilities are? Andre, have you heard? I mean, who are they going to bring in to coach this team? I mean, that's what. Who's going to come in and coach this team and turn this franchise around and say, get you in the top 8, or even get you the top 10? Make it now, right? YMCA, everybody's in the playoffs.
I can do it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell Tom. I can come in right now and I'm gonna win 19 games.
No, you're not, Terry. No.
Yes.
No, because
this is the NBA.
You'd come in there and make them run penalty laps, and they'd run you out of the gym the first day. So no, you're not going to win 19 games in the NBA.
Looking at
I'm just saying it's a tough job. It's a tough generation to work with. It's not a team generation. It's a me generation. So I'm just not sure how you find somebody in there to coach this me generation to get to turn this franchise around.
Everything has to work together. You got to have some continuity. You can bring stars in. You can do all this stuff. If they don't play well together, it's just not going to work. We've seen that with getting people on the floor and stuff. I don't want to go to the West yet, but there's some teams out in the West that's tried to add like that. Didn't work well for them. But in the East, we'll go to the West after we come back from our next commercial break in a minute. But in the East, we've got the last four in is going to be Miami sitting at 7, 43, and 34. We've got Philadelphia at 42 and 35. At Philadelphia has been up in that 2 and 3. But we got to give them a little asterisk on that. I don't know if anybody wants to play them because guess who just came back this week? Possibly it was MB. They was talking about MB getting healthy. So
they can't beat Boston.
Then you got Chicago. Then you got Chicago sitting there at the 9 at 37 and 40. I'm surprised that they're in there, but like Terry said, these teams that are under 500 shouldn't make the playoffs. That's his opinion on that one. But they're going to be in. And then you've got the Atlanta Hawks sitting at 36 and 41. I'll be honest with you guys. I think there's one team that's, and I know Tom said we're not a Boston show, but there's one team in the East that's heads and heels over by everybody else. Everybody else has got a puncher's chance with Milwaukee. You got Cleveland sitting there with Donovan Mitchell. As we know, if he can get healthy, he's got a puncher's chance. We got the Orlando Magic. We know that they've got a pretty decent core. I think that's one of them up-and-coming teams. If they can keep those guys together, they might be challenging Boston in the next couple of years with Paolo Banchero. The Knicks lost a big player. Julius Randle is going to have season-ending surgery on his foot, I believe it was. So I think Boston is probably going to come out of the East. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah. I mean, as much as we hate to say it, they're playing better than anybody else, and head and shoulders. Mm-hmm. I like that one. He's a Tar Heel man, head and heels above everybody else. You can tell he's Tar Heel.
The ceiling's the roof. Is that what they? Was that
one? But I don't. Like I'd like to say that maybe a team like Cleveland could challenge, but without Donovan Mitchell, they need a guy. They need a guy who could drop 40.
And they're almost like Caitlin Clark. They got to have the best game to beat those guys. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, they're going to have a really good game to beat those guys. So, in the West, I think.
I don't want to do the West just quite yet. Okay, I want to do that after that next break. So yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry you did. I'm sorry.
What you think, Terry?
Oh, I'm with you. I mean, I just right now Boston's a step above everybody else, and last night proved a lot to me because when we got down to the fourth quarter, we're up by 19 entering the fourth quarter, and Coach left all of his subs in. Never went back and put Tatum in, Brown in, Pazinski in. All of them stayed on the bench, and he let them guys that he stuck in there finish the game. Yeah. He did not go away from it, and they almost blew the 19-point lead. They ended up winning by 1, but he never took none of them out. And I was like, to me, that's proved a lot. Like, we're either going to win this or lose this without you. So y'all guys have to learn how to win. And I loved that part of it because he was giving all his faith in the guys he had on the bench. You protect what we got. You protect our lead, and I'm not going to change. And he did not.
I'm not. I'll finish this up before we go on this commercial break. Kevin sent us a message that hire Jerry Stackhouse. I am not against that by no means. I would put him out there in a heartbeat. If Terry can win 19 games, Stackhouse can at least win 35.
Even Kevin said I can win 19 games.
That's what Kevin said. Kevin said he could win. And he says LaMelo can sell hot dogs, not win games.
Well, I was listening to y'all show when I was in the hospital.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And Stackhouse lost me on that whole Easter rant he went on.
On what? Oh,
the Easter
come on, man. He wore his suit. He wore his suit because his mama liked him wearing his suit.
I was like, what is he talking about?
He talking about, yeah. That's why he wears his suit.
Andre, his feelings were hurt.
He lost me.
Andre, he hurt his feelings, man. They struck a nerve. I mean, they just struck a nerve. Every once in a while they struck a nerve.
But you do have to.
He's a human being too.
The person.
I agree. I agree with both statements on that. I'll be laughing. Andre, he said, "Man, I'm done."
I texted Kevin when I was in the hospital. I was like, "What is he talking about?" This man talking about an Easter suit. Like,
hey. But that goes back to his childhood.
Andre, his
mother
was
important to
him.
It's just important
in a
to him.
suit because his mom couldn't always afford nice clothes for him.
Yeah,
he way past that at this point.
Yeah, he is. But you're right.
It's important. That's something that's important to him.
Yeah, he always promised his mom he'd be in a suit.
He promised his
integrity.
Mother that. And I think there's a lot of kids out there that don't respect their mothers, and he does. So I respect him for that. But in serious, like. Does he have the clout to come in there and demand the attention in the room and get the most out of these players? I mean,
He
I
should.
think it's worth
He was
a
coach
chance.
of the year. We just, and Kevin said this before, we just write them off so quick and don't give them another shot. So, and he's at Vanderbilt. I mean, how many kids you going to get to come to Vanderbilt?
They
So,
used to be good. I mean, there were times Vanderbilt's had some good teams. It's
well,
been a
maybe
while.
in 40 years they'll be like State and get back in it again.
Well, I was getting ready to say that. I'm glad you said that because I was going to tell Tom the same thing. After 40 years, maybe they can get back in the NCAA.
So,
Yeah,
but,
they haven't been in the NCAA in a long time.
Well, we got one more commercial. We got this commercial break and another one, so we want to get this commercial break. When we come back after this commercial break, we'll hit the Western Conference, and then after that, we're going to go into NASCAR. So we'll be back in a minute. KTCBroadcasting.com.
If you are new to Medicare or would like to learn more about your Medicare options, here's some good news. Contact Ty Penhall at 704-489-6970. You have many choices when it comes to healthcare options. Let's face it, it's very confusing with all the nonstop commercials about healthcare. With over 20 years of healthcare experience, he can help you find the right plan for your healthcare needs. If you would like to attend a no-obligation healthcare event, please call Ty at 704-489-6970 to reserve your seat now. Again, that's 704-489-6970.
And what's up, Doc? The Bunny with the Money is back this year with a $1,000 spring shopping spree. Register today at one of our participating area merchants, including Jill's Uniforms on Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby, at Victoria Stevens on West Warren Street in Uptown Shelby, at Carfair Auto Sales on the Bessemer City Road in Gastonia, at Mutsy's on Highway 150 Bypass in Lincoln, at LDP Farms on Highway 18 North in Bellwood, at Noble Artistry on East Main Street downtown Cherryville, at All Carry Insurance on West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, at Ronaldo Kia, Highway 74 East in Shelby, at Ben's Bargains and More, Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby, at Dapper Dan's on Paul Beam Road in Cherryville, and at Carpet One Interiors on East Ozark Avenue in Gastonia. The drawing will be Friday, April 19th, so register today. You could win a $1,000 spring shopping spree from KTC Broadcasting, WOHS, and WCSL, and WhatsUpShopper.com.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-host Morgan Wallen, who's back on the road selling out stadiums.
I don't necessarily have the concern about the tickets because they're all gone, but at least not this year anyway. Hopefully we can keep that up forever.
That's Morgan Wallen this week on Country Countdown USA.
Wednesday afternoon at 1 on WCSL 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and KTCBroadcasting.com.
Okay, if you're in the market for a new trailer, there's no better place than TRT Trailer Sales in Lincoln. They have the absolute best price on comparable trailers anywhere, from enclosed trailers to landscape trailers to utility and dump trailers. Also, concession trailers too, plus a full parts and service department. Ask about financing. Visit the website at trttrailersales.com. Like them on Facebook too. TRT Trailer Sales at exit 20 on Highway 321 in Lincoln. Call 877-279-7465 for TRT Trailer Sales. It's a rainbow of colors at Acre Enterprises in Cherryville. 12-foot, 40-year metal roofing for just $30 in a wide variety of colors, including rustic red, white, brown, tan, black, charcoal, dark blue, and silver gabaloon. And remember, they will beat anybody's price. See their line of carports and metal buildings, too. That's Acre Enterprises, 1220 Shelby Highway, 150 West in Cherryville, right across from Food Line. Online at acrecarports.com and like them on Facebook, too.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back, one local purchase at a time.
Kind of uplifts you and you feel better.
It's the greatest comeback of all time.
Shop local with WhatsUpShopper.com, Carolina Country, and The Boss.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with the game. They're going to be talking, I think, something about some basketball, baseball.
Yeah, we're going to finish up here, JP, with the Western Conference.
the game.
Western Conference NBA.
Can I start off?
Season? Go ahead, Terry.
That's what I'm going to do. And Tom always criticizes things I say on here.
Well, it's kind of easy to do.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. This is as simple as ABC. 1, 2, 3, all that good stuff that you put
Glad
in
he
the
got
line.
those in order.
That's what I'm saying. But they made a stat last night about Boston having the best record in the NBA, which they do. But they said since the All-Star break, Boston has won 25 games. You know who's right behind them? Golden State. When they got Draymond and all them back, They've won 23.
This got to get kicked
So-
out.
I might have to mute him now.
So, all I can say
Oh,
is
my gosh.
Boston might have the best, but the second best record since the All-Star break is Golden State right behind them with 23 wins. So nobody else has it. Not Denver, not Minnesota, not Cleveland, not New York, not anybody. Golden State.
Well,
I'm happy for you.
That's all I got to say, Tom.
Yeah, it's Draymond.
Now-
Draymond proves them wrong again.
Now,
I'm
so-
glad I'm back. See what's happening since I'm back.
Now, real quickly on this, am I right about this? Does 7 play the 10, 8 play the 9 in the play-in? Is that right?
Yeah, that's how it was. So the
So,
Lakers will be gone in game
They're
one.
gone. You saw the same thing
That's
I
it.
did because they
Lakers
cannot
gotta be
beat
gone.
Sacramento.
Draymond's last stat line: 34 minutes, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 points.
It's triple single, baby.
I mean,
Yes.
that was his line against the Dallas Mavericks.
Bronny, there's a chance.
Yeah,
He has more triple doubles than Michael Jordan.
against the Houston Rockets. 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 points. I mean, why are we even talking? Why does he even come up?
I'm
as
just
a
telling you what's
topic
happened
of
since the All-Star
conversation?
break.
I
Like
mean,
Barkley
like,
said.
We're talking
just
about
go
a
You know who
guy
asked me about
that
you?
come
Did you see
back.
that? Did y'all see what
Okay.
Barkley said to Draymond? He said, "You know who asked me about you this week?" He said, "Who?" He said, "Nobody."
Oh, he actually had 11 points a week ago. 6
Well, we're done with
rebounds,
this,
6
Tom.
assists.
That's I've already said
So,
what I had to say.
I
Hey,
mean, you
but-
had to say what you had to say, but the statistics dictate otherwise. Plus, it gets thrown out of a game 4 minutes in
No,
a game.
it all depends
The guy-
on what the guy is doing defensively.
He sucks.
That has
That's
made
why he does his
Golden
antics.
State better.
He sucks.
Bottom line.
Okay, ask Steph Curry if he makes him better.
No, Steph Curry, I tell you, he's got to be out there. He'll tell you that.
Ask Steph Curry if he's.
He
gotta
says,
be
I
out
got to
there.
have him.
Yeah, that's what Steph Curry.
He probably does. He needs his muscle out
That's
there.
why. That's why Steph Curry is like shaking his head, and saying, "This guy embarrasses the entire franchise."
All right, on to the next subject.
Yeah. So we got New Orleans going to wind up playing Golden State in the play-in game. I don't think New Orleans wants to play those guys. New Orleans
Okay,
has a
now
decent
it'll
team.
be 7 against 8 and 9 against
That's
10.
the way it
So
is.
that's the way it is. Okay,
Yeah.
so the Lakers just got. Well, I ain't gonna say they got lucky. I don't think that. I think they got a better chance against Golden State than they do against Sacramento because they have not beat Sacramento this year. So that should be another one of them. We got Curry versus LeBron 9 and 10 to see who makes it in on that. And then we have the Pelicans right now with Sacramento. I think Sacramento will beat the Pelicans on that. Also.
That could
And
change.
you're
though. Those
looking
teams
at-
are
Yeah,
coming
I mean
there.
Phoenix is sitting right there. I mean all this. That's a log jam. A log jam.
And when I look at this is how I look at it for Boston. We just got through playing Sacramento last night. It was up by 19 going to the fourth. Put subs in. They end up winning anyway. The game before that, we played Oklahoma City. We beat them like a drum. So, I mean, the only team out of this whole West that Boston even needs to worry about is Denver.
Yeah, you talking about those top heavy team on that side. It's going to be the Denver Nuggets. Minnesota has got a good young core,
They do.
but
They're
Denver,
going
man,
to be good.
how are you gonna? I mean, how are you gonna deal with how good they are and Jokic?
Yeah. And then you have to think
is it
about
Murray,
yeah.
the guard, really good.
And you got to think about beating them 4 times.
Yeah.
There's the problem.
Because they're going to turn it on. They're going to hit the switch, and it's go time, and let's go. What do you think, Tom?
Denver just destroyed Cleveland the other night. Went out there and beat them by like 25. That was another one of my bonus bets that went bad, Andre. I took the over in Cleveland in the points, and wished I hadn't, Andre. I wished I hadn't done that one.
Never do
But I just and I looked, and I know that Mitchell had come back, and I think he had 20 in that game, but he still got destroyed. I just don't see anybody beating them. I know that there's a lot of good teams in the West, though. So I mean, there's a lot of good teams.
I mean, if Phoenix ever got healthy, they could be a little bit of a factor with who they got on there. But Minnesota, man, they got little Jordan on there with Edwards. He's got the mindset that you would want to have with somebody leading your team. He thinks he can beat anybody. He's got that Jordan mindset, that Kobe mindset. So. He'll take the challenge full on. I'll say that.
And then you go down through there in the L.A. Clippers with the people that they got. I mean, I always think that they should win a lot more games. They did win 49. That's a lot.
But this year they've been a lot better.
Yeah, and I know the other night I watched them play without Leonard in the lineup. So when you speak of Westbrook and you speak of Young, and I mean, they're I mean, it's a loaded team there. So,
You got
they
Dallas
can
sitting
go
at
with
5.
Dallas,
My
and
favorite
then
player, Luka,
Phoenix.
and Kyrie is nuts, man. When he plays, he can play. So they are definitely formidable. This West, everybody but Denver and Minnesota, I think, is wide open.
I think you could go down through this list and you would have more of a hard time naming. I'd say, well, Minnesota, we know a few players there, but Oklahoma City starters. Yeah. I think that would be hard for people to say, dang, they've won 52 games now. If you go to the Clippers, you go to the Mavericks, Suns, we're going to be able to name players. New Orleans, Sacramento, the Lakers and the Warriors. You can name players.
We can't forget how good that Gilgeous-Alexander is. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a very good player.
Yeah, he didn't even play in the last game.
He's got the other guy. I can't think of his name right now. With like Wembyana.
See the difference too.
Thank you.
Yeah. The difference too, like if you look at the Timberwolves, you got Anthony Edwards, Naz Reid scoring a lot for them too. But you look at Rudy Gobert. Now he's getting doubles, double rebounds, double point. Now he doesn't score like 30, but see that's what Draymond's numbers should be if he's going to run his mouth the way it is. You should be looked up like 2 or 3 games, double for Gobert every time, double. That's the difference. Like you got to have a guy to do the dirty work, not just go out and smack people in the private area. You got to have somebody who's going to go out there and actually do the work. And that's a Gobert. That's why Minnesota is different from Golden State. That's why Minnesota is going to go a lot further.
No, it's not.
Team like them.
It's on account of.
It's on account of what?
Minnesota has more big people underneath than what Golden State does. Golden State runs you like a 4-guard offense.
But the way you run your mouth, Draymond should make up for that.
Yeah, but he's having to play the whole defense because none of the guys out front can stop their guys.
Playing defense, he ain't boxing out a lot. He's got like 5 rebounds a game.
Oh Lordy.
Do we need to go over boxing out?
Never mind. We'll go on.
We got boxing out?
Okay.
I'm just telling you what the stat line should look like. If you got your defensive stud there, it doesn't give blocks on this, but I'd like to see how many blocks he had along with that. But that's what you want from your support player, your guy doing a lot of the dirty work. You got to have a guy that really does not play dirty, but do the dirty work. There's a difference.
I think all those consensus would say Boston, Denver's who we think will be in the finals. And we'll see how that plays out.
So that means neither one of them will be there. So if we all go across
you're
the board,
you're probably right about that.
That's right. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. It's different. The playoffs are different. I will say that. Because
games called different.
Games called different. You don't have guys sitting out. You know,
everybody on deck. It's time to play.
Nobody really takes a game off. They're in the game, but they're not really playing. You got a little bit of that going on. So it'll be fun to watch.
We'll finish up with this segment here, JP. We're going to go to our last commercial break. When we come back, we're going to touch on Martinsville, and we'll hit on the standings in NASCAR as they stand right now. We'll be back. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Scratch and dent, scratch and dent, scratch and dent.
Razors.
Scratch and dent, scratch and dent, scratch and dent.
Dryers.
Scratch and dent, scratch and dent, scratch and dent.
Refrigerators.
Scratch and dent, scratch and dent, scratch and dent.
Ranges.
Scratch and dent, scratch and dent, scratch and dent.
Washers.
A new truckload every week at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. On the right going down, on the left coming up. Believe it or not, they've got a boat for sale at Oak Grove Auto Sales Service and Body Shop. A boat. It's a 2018 Tracker GV16 Laker and sale priced at $12,995. Pull it around with a big 2017 Ram 1500 Rebel truck 4x4 crew cab with only 94,000 miles, priced at $31,995. Or how about a 2016 Chevrolet Tahoe LT, only 82,000 miles, priced at $31,995. At Oak Grove Auto Sales Service and Body Shop, 522 Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain. Online at oakgroveauto.com. Like them on Facebook too.
Lawn mowing time is here. Time to head south and see Boyd Tire and Appliance on Main Street in Clover. There you'll find a big selection of Gravely and John Deere mowers, steel chainsaws, blowers, trimmers, and more. Also appliances and tires. Right now get 0% financing for 36 months on the new Gravely zero-turn mower. And check out the springtime deals on John Deere tractors and zero-turn mowers at Boyd's Tire and Appliance, 110 North Main Street in Clover. Online at BoydTireandAppliance.com and see their page at What'sUpShopper.com.
Spring is sprung at Campers Inn RV in Kings Mountain. And there's nothing but fun and adventure lying ahead with a new RV from Campers Inn. See our beautiful land with your dream RV from Campers Inn. Now's the perfect time to turn your RV dreams into reality. But these great deals won't last long. Discover the freedom of the open road today with the new RV from Campers Inn RV. Kings Mountain, Highway 161 South at I-85 at 615 Broadview Drive. Online at campersinn.com/Kings-Mountain. See Campers Inn today. Sism & Son Paint and Body Shop, a local family-owned business for 25 years, is located at 2027 Shelby Road in Kings Mountain. Sism & Son offers auto and truck body repair and painting, motorcycle refinishing, and dent removal. They're known for their quality of work, their experienced staff, and their dedication to their customers. In their own words, we work for our customers, not for the insurance companies. We have your best interest in mind. Sism & Son Paint and Body Shop, they're there when you need them.
Since 2015, Zeus Auto Repair and Performance has proudly served the greater Lincolnton area. Jay, John, Tucker are there to meet all your automotive needs, including oil changes, brakes, suspension, car detailing, North Carolina state inspections, and much more. With 3 licensed state inspectors on site, you're sure to receive the quickest and best service in town. Stop by and see the boys of Zeus Auto Repair and Performance located at 1122 South Aspen Street in Lincolnton, the old Rose Brothers service station, next to Randall's Grill for all your automotive needs. Open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them today at 704-240-3061. Zeus Auto Repair and Performance.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with the gang.
Yep, we'll finish up here with our NASCAR. Terry, they're going to be in Martinsville this week. I'm a short track fan, so excited for Martinsville.
I'm gonna pick my winner.
Anybody want to take a guess? You want to do any betting on that, Andre? Who he's going to take?
I stay completely away from it.
Okay, well, I can tell you exactly who's going to take. Kyle Busch.
The winner will be Kyle Busch.
I told you.
I'd use that. When I get the NASCAR on there, I go look it up and I take predictions.
Okay. Well, so they still got to qualify and everything.
Oh yeah, when is all of that? I know the race is Sunday at 3.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule. Right, I'm pulling up schedule. Sunday, the race is at 3. I'm not seeing anything.
That's what I'm looking for. When
weekend schedule. I was on the wrong thing. So give me one second. Let's go to weekend schedule. You see it, Terry?
Nope.
I had it and it just went off. Let me go back just 1 second. Let me go back to the weekend schedule. Go to schedule. And then it's down at the bottom. They got a little bitty. You got to go to schedule, but then you have to hit weekend schedule. So it kind of throws you a little bit off. So weekend schedule, as we're pulling up. Today we got practice at 3:05, qualifying at 3:40 for the Truck Series. Is that right about that? No, that was Friday. Excuse me. Let's go to today. We're at Saturday at 3 o'clock. We got the press pass. 4:35 we got practice for the Cup Series. 5:20 we got qualifying. So today we got qualifying. The post NCS qualifying press pass is at a little bit later. 7:30 the Xfinity. 250 the Dude Wipes 250, and then we'll have the post race tomorrow. Again, we'll be at the Cookout 400 at 3 p.m. So Terry, Tom, was you listening when Terry picked his winner?
I was not.
Who do you think he picked?
He picked Kyle Busch.
You are correct. Told you, Andre.
You are correct.
Terry has picked Kyle Busch. I'm a Kyle Busch fan. I'm not taking Kyle this week. We have to wait to qualify a little bit. So, but Larson would be definitely one that I'd be keeping an eye on.
I'll
this
go
week.
against the grain. We'll go Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell. That's
Denny
good.
Hamlin's running good here lately.
Yeah. Look at the standings for a minute. We got. I'm trying to get it pulled up here, guys. Give me a second. I'm clicking. Just give it a minute. The standings. Sitting right now, we got Martin Truex as your points leader. He's at 270.
That's Terry's favorite driver.
Martin Truex Jr. on that. Number 2, the guy I picked if he has a good qualifying position, Kyle Larson, 256. Then we got Denny Hamlin. I don't think too many people like Mr. Denny. I'm not a big Denny fan. 252. Ty Gibbs sitting there, number 4. Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell. Tom just picked as his winner this week. Sitting at number 6, William Byron, still in the mix at number 7. Chase Elliott, my son's favorite driver, sitting at number 9. Terry's favorite driver's 8. Terry's favorite driver is number 9, Ross Chastain. Is still in the top 10.
This is his track. He did his great.
He did. This is the track where he did the slingshot.
As we speak, Andre's on Bet365 trying to figure out whichever ones these guys mentioned. I'm going with the other guy. Like whichever one they
I'm noting in my head a lot of these names.
He's looking at it right now. It's like, okay, when these guys said Tom said Bell, cross that one off. We know he's not going to win.
Tyler Reddick sitting at number 10 to finish out top 10, and then Kyle Busch is sitting at 13. Bubba Wallace sitting at 14. The greatest thing on this whole list is Joey Logano sitting down at number 19. That just makes my day.
Yeah, and then when you look at that, you think of drivers outside. You got Chase Briscoe, Joey Logano, Michael McDowell, Eric Jones. I mean, you just start naming some guys.
Stenhouse wrecks everybody, but he can win a race every now and then.
Yeah, Noah Grayson's on down there. He's a decent driver. I mean, Harrison Burton. He's not doing as good as I thought he would since he's moved up. When Jimmy Johnson's way down there at 38, but he's a lot of races Jimmy has not run.
No, and he's had some bad luck.
Yeah, and when you think of Jimmy Johnson, I know we was talking about earlier with Kevin. His next race is next week, Texas, and then he goes to Dover on April the 29th, Kansas May the 5th, Charlotte Motor Speedway May the 26th. Then he is going to race at the Brickyard, Kansas, Las Vegas, and Phoenix is how he'll end up.
Okay, so that's where we're sitting at with NASCAR right now. Like I said, I hope Kyle can get on. Me and Terry are both Kyle fans, so I hope Kyle can get on a winning streak. At least get him a win this year.
Yeah, to maybe have the all-time record. He
sorry,
will.
Sorry for that, Eric.
Well, I mean, I'm the all-time record for wins in consecutive seasons. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you was talking about
That's
all
what
time.
I'm saying.
Never mind.
No.
I thought we had one of your crazy.
Well, I would send that out
mathematical
to Tom if that happens.
Problems. So. That's where we're sitting at NASCAR. It's going to be a fun weekend this weekend, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people next weekend excited for Jimmy to get back behind the wheel. And again, this is a next-gen car, so a learning curve for him on that. And then just stay out of some of the bad luck for him on next week. So anybody got anything else on NASCAR?
No.
Good. Andre, we appreciate you being in here today.
Andre, have you done Bet365 yet?
No, I haven't.
You got to get that one, man. That one's got the good bonus bets. So what you need to do
after
all this, Andre, after all this good information you got this morning, because Andre's just been kind of sitting there just taking it in. So he's like, let me get all the bad information.
Yeah.
But Andre, it's got they give you $200 bonus, and you got a week to use it. So I would sign up for that one. That's a good one. That's one sponsored by the Hornets. So that's why I mentioned that one on the air, since we're an affiliate. Yeah, they sponsored the Charlotte Hornets. So check that one out, Andre. Check that one out, Andre.
Appreciate you helping us run some of the computer stuff.
Yeah.
Let me remind
this week.
people.
Go ahead.
One more thing. Kyle Busch does have 230 wins.
Oh, God. Just get out of here.
Yeah, appreciate you guys listening this week on the McDonald's Sports Show, and we'll see you guys back next week. Have a good week.
We are done.